Propaganda la music.
I got big dreams just like baby. I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Play with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it out this earth. Where's your worth?
I'm sick of your talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am the second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let him know. I'm the headline, the deadline. I'm ahead time, the red time. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind, big time.
What is up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to another game with Shake and Bake Esports. Today I've got with me my buddy, my pal, my first time doing the streams with this co-caster, mydad.com. How you doing, my dude?
Tech duo for life.
Let's
I'm good,
do
man. How are
this.
you?
Not bad, not bad. Just enjoying the games going on. Looking forward to this rematch. Like last week was pretty intense and it came down to the wire, and honestly I'd like to see it play a little bit faster, but I would not be disappointed to see this play out as long as it did, just because it's just, honestly, I think it's a good even matchup between these two teams.
Absolutely, I would agree. They each have one win apiece. This is the grand finals. This is for all the marbles, and yeah, both games were hard fought. What was it? It was both were 3-2, weren't they?
Yeah. The last two wins were both 3-2. Although I believe Shake and Bake had lost previously to Krys1s, but I think that was 2-3, 3-2 in favor of Krys1s. The first time they played.
Yes. So they've each won one time. They played them originally, and then last week for the semifinals, Shake and Bake pulled off the victory then. So one win apiece to each team to bring them into this grand final championship.
Indeed. So this, like you said, this is the grand finals for this tournament, and it's going to be interesting to see. Like, honestly, I got to give it to Shake and Bake, you know, getting knocked out into the losers bracket, fighting their way back up and coming back and really showing it to Krys1s last time, putting them in the losers position. And so now Shake and Bake is the one, you know, with the crown tentatively on this one, because, you know, they won the previous match. So in this case, all we got to do is see Shake and Bake pull off another win, and yeah, I'm hoping for the team, but honestly, the last two teams have been in very good spirits, very good sportsmanlike, I guess you could say. They've been very very good about having good uh mannerisms in the game. So I'm definitely
Absolutely.
grateful for that.
Yeah, these are two professional organizations with good managers, good coaches, and good players. And I think that these games have been in fun spirited and positive. And I think both teams are just really great. I think that could not have asked for a better final here.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Now, I will say that to our surprise here, we have a player that we have not seen on the streams at least for the last two games, and that is Crispy. Um, we've got Crispy joining us tonight.
Absolutely. The resident hit scan on Shake and Bake has made their way back to this game. Definitely felt like she's been missing from the previous games. So it'll be interesting to see how she ties back into the team because she definitely has that pop off ability to really win fights on her own. So I look forward to seeing how she plays. Not to say that Swaggersaurus or Storm do not have their own ability to do so. They both popped off in the previous two games as well. So we shall see. But it's good to have her back in the mix.
I completely agree. Crispy was one of those players where it's just like, much like Swag, where Swaggersaur has the ability to get those picks and just keep them rolling and just like they exist there. Whereas, when it comes to a pinch, Storm is always that one person that is like, it almost at times it feels like it's all hope is lost, and then all of a sudden you see a headshot on a support for the enemy team, and it just completely puts the favor in puts the favor towards Shake and Bake taking over and just moving. So I, definitely not in short supply on amazing DPS for this team. So we'll just have to see if everybody else is up to the challenge. Supports have always been very solid. Grong, we'll see how aggressive we can get tonight. See if he's going to take the MVP again. Out of curiosity, if you had to guess for tonight, let's just hear some predictions for MVP.
That is a very good question. I am not 100% sure. There's a lot of potential out there. I do expect Grangigas to really kind of with a chip on his shoulder. He did lose his first game as the tank against Krys1s. I expect him to want to dominate just to kind of prove his mastery. So I'm expecting a lot from him, and that's what I'm gonna give. I'm gonna give Shake and Bake Grangigas ahead of time.
Okay. I completely agree, and I'm gonna have to do oh, they don't even have the same characters they did last week playing for tank. Must have been a sub, I don't know, but
I believe Fallen Solo is their tank. Yeah.
okay. There was a different, I believe there was a different player, or no, it might have been the person that you and I had played with, and it was the excrement name.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the other team though.
That was the other team. Okay,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised. Fallen Solo, really made some good plays. They just like the biggest issue with Krys1s has to stay as a team and work as a team, and Shake and Bake honestly just needs to bring that pressure in. If there's anything I noticed, Shake and Bake, when they came in with the pressure and the means to take over, they were winners hands down. Last week's game on the final map of Lijiang, it was heavily in the favor of Shake and Bake for those maps. They just came in with a fire and a want to win, and hopefully we'll see that transfer over to tonight and seeing them get a second win and a championship win at that against Krys1s.
Absolutely. And we're loading into our first map here soon. Antarctic Peninsula, a favorite of many, I'm sure. What sort of comps do you think lend themselves to this map?
Uh, mm.
It's a tough one.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sigmas coming out or Reinhardt's coming out for this game, just because there's so much damage that can come in from multiple angles. So a shield tank would not be a bad idea. Although I could definitely see some dive tanks coming out for either to put the pressure on. And honestly, I think if Shake and Bake's going to get that pressure if they're going to come across with that pressure and stuff, they need to go dive characters. They need to get in, get out, get the picks that they need. I feel like if they go stale with a Reinhardt or a Sigma really hasn't been doing them bad. They've been actually doing really well with Sigma.
Sure.
I would say more likely a Sigma, but if not, then we're probably going to see some sort of dive composition for Shake and Bake. For Krys1s, I'm not sure. Especially with it being a new week, and now they have a new mindset of coming in to wipe Shake and Bake out of the match.
Absolutely. And they do have a strong brawl composition. They do run the rush brawl pretty well with both Reinhardt and Ramatra. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them roll out on that. And it would obviously be a challenge for them to roll out on that and Shake and Bake to roll out on dive. They would have to be very careful about how they're executing their dives and controlling space. So it'll be an interesting thing for sure. And that's the interesting thing about Antarctic Peninsula is that it doesn't necessarily lend itself to one particular comp style.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
You can really make it work with all of them. It really just depends on what you're playing into. So it'll be interesting to say the least.
I will say, I'm going to call it right now that if we get a Ramatra and an Ana on the side of Shake and Bake, I'm giving the instant win to Shake and Bake just because of Nano COVID is near unstoppable, especially with Shake and Bake. So
yeah. It really is just it is probably out of all the ultimates in the game the most likely to win a fight is COVID, which that's what we call Ramatra. I don't know if anyone else does, but that's our name for it. And it is just full of visual clutter, full of damage, and can go on for literally 23 seconds? Yeah. I think
I'm just gonna call it forever because it definitely
used to
does
literally
feel like
be forever. Yeah. You remember when it first came out, people were just standing in spawns in their block form, and both Ramatras were in their in their ult, and it'd just be 2-minute standoff of all right, let's see what happens here.
I think the clip that kind of circulated and had everybody on the floor laughing was Emong having a 1v1 with the enemy Ramatra, and he's like, I'm doing it, I'm killing the other tank, and their health pool is like going up down up down up down up down, and I think they did it for nearly a straight minute, and I think Flats, who was with him at the time, was about ready to punch his monitor because he was just like, just freaking do something.
yeah it was spawn doors on Rialto, if I remember correctly. It was quite the show. Very compelling gameplay. Two tanks standing there in block form.
Action packed. Like it's something that you never want to miss, and if you miss it, then that's unfortunate for you.
Luckily, we have the replays available to go back and watch and enjoy.
Yes, we do. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. This is gonna be definitely a game to remember. We really did well with the previous game against Krys1s. I think at this point we just need to focus on what makes Shake and Bake needs to focus on what makes them a team and keep that connection strong. And also a big one that I would say they need to hopefully they'll keep an eye out for is watching out for their supports.
Absolutely. And I think two other things that are going to be key is controlling the tempo of the fights and ulting first. I think those are two things that when Shake and Bake does it, they are unstoppable.
Agreed.
They if they play reactively, they tend to fall behind. So I'm really hoping for a very aggressive, proactive team here.
I agree.
And here we go.
Let's see. I think we got about, what, 8 seconds before we get to our views of what the teams have picked. We'll break it down.
And I think we'll only get to see what Shake and Bake.
Yeah.
And no surprise here.
One more mission, huh?
Okay, so we don't have the Ana Ramatra, so it won't be as much of a heavy swing as I was thinking. But you know what? I'll take Kiriko and She Prime with the Lucio. This is gonna be an awesome match.
Yeah, I like the modified Brawl Rush comp, putting the cast in there with his new ridiculously overpowered magnetic grenade. Very great for shutting down flankers, stalling out any movability character whatsoever, and just generally bullying tanks. So I think Krys1s really knows how to abuse that cooldown.
Indeed. So we'll see. Shake and Bake's gonna go for the high ground, and looks like they're gonna beat them to high ground. So right now they need to keep the pressure up. Shield is down for the Ramatra. Just can't let any picks happen here.
I will give you shelter.
Okay, I can only spectate She Prime, so I can only guess what's going on here. But it looks like we have a mirror here, fighting for space, a little bit of poke, and point has unlocked. Krys1s has taken the point. Big boot from She Prime there, and Fury's low, and they kill. Oh no! Okay, yeah. Teams are even. Oh, now Swagasaurus with a pick.
Yeah. It looks like we're gonna possibly see this go in our favor. They need to cancel out the heals, and they did.
God, this is so bad. Okay, so yeah, I can only spectate Lucio, so I'm gonna do my best.
Right click and left click won't work for you.
No.
Okay. Well, Shake and Bake are going to take the first fight. We just can't let any things happen here. It was a little bit on the messy side, but you know what? First battles often are the messiest.
Absolutely, yeah. So both teams lost 3 characters very quickly, and it just so happened Shake and Bake was able to capitalize off of that momentum and get that extra pick to really win the fight. And now they've got a healthy 25% going in. It's building up. We're going to see COVID here. We might see high noon. COVID from both sides. COVID comes out for Krys1s.
Looks like they're gonna possibly back out. Well, you know what? This might be a perfect opportunity to ult for.
They really need to address here. And here we go. Walled off. Ground gauge walled off very low. Needs to pop that ult to survive here.
Yeah,
and
I think they're just kind of baiting for ultimates right now.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Map flips and everybody backs out.
Yep, but you know, Shake and Bake's coming into this with a lot of ults coming up, and Krys1s was already down 1 with the Ramatra ult. So let's see how this is gonna play out. I'm gonna probably guess that we're gonna see COVID come out for Shake and Bake.
Absolutely, maybe with Rush. It depends on how quickly they can take. But that's absolutely not very good. They're both come up right now. May uses block form. May is isolated. She should die now. They get the bat, which is huge. Grung falls. Swagasaurus gets Link. And this point might actually flip, even with the tank still alive. This is actually just cleanup right now.
It is.
It's going to be important for them to get this. Oh, there comes Beat and Freeze. Not the
huge
smartest
pick coming out.
Yeah, there you go. Nice big pick there. Okay, maybe invest in those ults. Okay, and there comes High Noon as well. So they are out of ults, but they do flip the map if they can get this. Junkrat falls, and Baptiste is going to fall again. Big staggers here, actually. It's going to turn into some nice percentage on the map, but they are completely out of ultimates. So they're going to have a lot of trouble with this next fight.
Exactly, but you know what? They're already down Tire. They're down. Krys1s is out of Tire. They're out of Ramatra. They might be getting close to a second ult for Ramatra here.
Yeah, that thing builds really fast. And Shake and Bake sets up back on the right side, high ground, being pushed by Krys1s over there. Seeing some nice movement from She Prime, trying to keep everyone out. Oh, and the wall goes up, and here comes COVID again. Bap and Lamp fall. Grange's very low, unable to, and he falls again, and this is going to flip the map.
Watch your back.
Kind of like what you said. Yeah, kind of like what you said with you know, Shake and Bake is going to have a hard time coming off of that one particular fight with no ultimates in hand.
And we're in last fight territory here, and they still have no ultimates to go off of, and they probably won't get any, so they need to win this fight dry and hope just that Krys1s doesn't have any other ult to use. You really need to look for some big picks here early on in the fight. Mei falls, here comes Freeze, and I think this map is going to go to Krys1s. Last minute touch from Krys1s. But she is in a 1v5. Unlike Krys1s falls 2, and that's going to be map 1 to Krys1s.
First round.
No biggie, no biggie. It's just one of the first match is often, like I said, the messiest. So I'm not gonna let this first map predict how Shake and Bake is gonna play. It's just one of those things with tournament games. You kind of get that anxiety, if you will, when you're trying to get ready for a game, and you know they got to figure out how to play together as a team. And once they get that rhythm going, it's going to be pretty difficult to stop.
Absolutely. I think their biggest downfall for map 1 was spending too much time in fights when they didn't have control of the point. That they had to invest 3 ults to flip it. They could have reset, maybe won the fight with 1 ult, had a couple more for the next fight, and that might have won the map for them. So hopefully they'll be a little bit more cautious about how their approach here, but we will see. Rolling on the same characters.
Except we're gonna have a Symmetra instead of a instead of a McCree.
I like that switch a lot, actually, especially on this map. There's a lot more areas to put your turrets. You can make these work. Neither wall hits. Just some poke damage coming through right now. Oh, Maywall hits for Krys1s really well. Lucio's stuck, but he manages to get out of it.
Junkrat's gonna fall for Krys1s.
Big pick there, big pick there. Crispy falls too, so we're still even. Maywall comes out on Grong. He is low.
Pick for on the back.
Yeah, absolute pick on the bat is huge. Now they need to look to kill this tank here with no healing. Oh, sorry, they do have the...
and it looks like there's going to be some good cleanup here.
Absolutely. So this fight goes to Shake and Bake here, surprisingly. Very hard fought as the Junkrat from Krys1s returns.
The important thing is to keep learning.
And that's going to give us some time. The Kiriko died pretty late, so they're still resetting here. They should get 20-25% progress here before the next fight, and they're building towards some ult. They should have Window, they might have Freeze, they should have COVID. Pretty solid going into this next fight. It's going to be important for them to attack here early.
And Crispy to get that shield ult fast will benefit the team greatly.
Little poke damage comes out as Fury is able to get her Window. That's going to come out quickly, I think, and will probably be important to win this fight. They might be able to lose just that. There comes the Window and enemy. Oh, and Freeze. We got Freeze too. They need to get this Ramatra frozen on the side here, but there we go. Some big picks there. They're down 2 to a full strength team. COVID comes out too, so that is all of the ults on Shake and Bake's side, but they will enter this next fight with Beat and Wall. So some defensive ults at least to win the fight while they build up their offensive ults.
And honestly, that's really all they're going to need for a fight like this is, you know, Beat and Shield will do a lot for a team.
Absolutely.
And in better case than their last situation where they had a fight and they didn't have anything to go off of.
My sentry is already...
All right, we see Rush and COVID come out. It'd be important. She probably needs to get this extra 2% right now, or her team's going to fall. I think it's probably a little late. I hope she doesn't waste cheat here. Okay, good. All right, so 80% to 0. That's really good. They're coming into the next fight with both of their defensive ults still, and they're halfway to Window and halfway to Freeze. I think that's a pretty good place to be.
It is. It is. With the Crispy was pretty close to getting the shield off, but thankfully she was able to hold on to it and not use it and save it for the next fight.
It'll be interesting to see how they use this to aggress in, and that is what they're doing, speeding and aggressing with the wall. Placement was a little off, I think. Here comes out Beat, which I don't love. I think it might have been a little early, but hopefully they can capitalize and win this fight.
Yeah, there was a tire that was in play, so I can understand that.
Sure, but you know, Beat doesn't save time. Lamp does save time a little bit more reliable. That said, you know, we have Window come out here, Window on both sides. Big picks by Grong. Grong is just popping off right now, and She-Prime is isolated the tank. And
She-Prime, nice plays.
Just a little cleanup on the Junkrat here, and we are down to last fight. And they're entering the last fight with COVID, which again I've mentioned is probably one of the most fight-winningest ults that there is. They're in a good space right now. They might be a little staggered even trying to touch here. I'd be surprised if they get a full-strength fight from the side of Krys1s.
Well, and you're also got Mayult coming up too, so Mayult is going to be a issue here.
Absolutely, from both sides actually.
Yes!
And the wall, perfect wall from Swagasaurus to keep them from touching, and that ties the maps up at 1.
Score.
Very nice plays by the team of Shake and Bake. Not gonna lie, the sudden wraparound by Krys1s coming in and putting pressure on the supports, keeping their attention off of the ultimates that Krys1s had at play, really kind of threw the supports for Krys1s in a loop. So and she was able to get 2 picks off of that. So props to Krys1s there, getting some good pressure put on the team, giving her team an opportunity to get away with, murder.
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot more aggression from Krys1s, a lot more ability to boot enemy team members into a bad position. She's really taking advantage of that and showing some real aggression. And I'm probably saying that mostly because I'm stuck watching her play. But it's great to see. I'm not really seeing anyone else, but Krys1s' play is drastically improved, even from the last game. Aggressing now here. Big pick on the Kiriko. That's going to be a great opening pick. Brang is very low. He's getting healed up. Lamp comes out, and they're looking to flip the map here. Resetting down low.
And pressure now here is going to be necessary to get the win off of this with... Oh, and there goes the enemy Ramatra. So that's going to be it. That's going to be a huge play in favor
right now. May use Ice Block. She's going to get herself staggered here. If they
going to fall. Here,
yeah, that's fine. They need to cap this point.
Someone
Okay,
has
great.
to keep you alive.
Wow, I'm actually on
All right, so
fire.
not a decisive win, a little messy, but it's good to see. We have a lot of ults coming online for Shake and Bake. Likely the same ults coming online for Krys1s. So this will be an interesting power-packed fight coming up here, for sure.
And Shake and Bake doing the right thing to back up.
Dinked by Hanzo.
Oh, and Ramatra's going to fall very quickly.
Out comes COVID, out comes Dragons.
Grong needs to stay alive here.
And I
And he
cannot
will.
see. Looks like the team is healthy though, based on Krys1s respawning. Looks like this fight is won, and that was great. Now, did we see COVID come out for the enemy team?
I don't think we did.
Okay.
But now Shake and Bake's
So
got
they're
to
still-
put pressure on the team.
Absolutely. There comes Window, and I think we're going to see COVID here, which we countered with Freeze. I would love to see the Freeze come out to counter the COVID and really maintain this. There comes Freeze from Krys1s. Doesn't manage to catch too many. Lamp comes out.
It's going to be some really good plays by Shake and Bake. We just got to fight through this COVID here.
Absolutely. I think at this point, without some big picks, they're going to just need to stall this out or get out. And yeah, okay. So 67%, very good. They're in 2-fight territory now, coming back in with Beat to counter possibly Window and Rush.
Hello.
I think this will be a quick retake for them if they can get in there quick.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes out from
Someone
Krys1s.
has to keep
Folk
you
coming into
alive.
that room. They seem to have them isolated up there.
And Grong
big
is
pick
gonna
on the
fall
retake.
fast.
They need to back out here for sure.
Behind you.
Hey, I think they need to think about where they're taking this fight. If they've got that locked off down there, they might need to take another angle.
Well, and especially with a Hanzo holding that angle, it really makes it difficult to not take damage in a situation
Absolutely.
like that when you're confined to such small quarters.
And they are coming down right side. TP play to point. Oh, they're gonna force point quickly. I think that's a really smart move. Out comes Beat. Wall is a little mid. I mean, it doesn't mean to isolate anybody, but they get the Hanzo, big pick, big first pick, and Ram's low. There comes out Lamp. There comes out Cleanse. They're really gonna win. This is gonna be a one fight if they can really just capitalize on it. All right, Kiriko falls. Lucio's gonna fall to the Mei. May's back on
They need
point
to
on
help their
Kiriko.
support, and they
There's a
are.
pick on Link, and that is a
Behold
one
my
fight.
creation. Behold
And
my
we're
creation.
quickly getting to
one in the
one-fight
books.
territory now. We have COVID and Wall available. We're probably going to see another freeze before the thing is over. Very strong position for Shake and Bake here.
Indeed.
They
The
just need to win one fight here.
ult usage is going to be key.
Absolutely.
Feeling better?
Eden, Strong is walled off, very low health. Can keep him up? Not quite, but they lose two. They lose both healers. No supports for. There's a third pick.
They're
fourth
down
pick.
almost their entire team.
Don't move.
The only player left on their team is their tank and their Mei. And if they can, now it's just their Mei, just the Mei. And if they can get her out of ice block and kill her, this is a one map for Shake and Bake. They managed to do it. I don't think we're getting a touch here.
We might get with a ball. Oh no, they're not.
Here we go. And map one goes to Shake and Bake. Amazing play there. Very, very good. Grong Gigas with 37 limbs. The whole team is popping off, though, honestly. Very
And wouldn't
much
you
a-
know, another play of the game by Grong.
Again, just talking about how strong this ultimate is. It is really, really difficult to counter. You have to play very smart, and if you're caught in it, very hard. And I think both teams capitalized on that.
They did, and honestly, well played by both teams.
Absolutely. That was a very, very good map. Very even. Well played on both sides. One fight loss in either direction would have completely changed the map winners in this. That's really all there is to it. Both teams were one fight away from a win or a loss.
Indeed, indeed. And that's the beauty of these two teams, is it's not one of those games where it feels like it's lopsided towards one team or another. And honestly, those are some of the best games that you can ask for in a tournament, is to have games that are like tooth and nail biting. This is what Overwatch League you'd want to watch, you know, when the matches are so even that, you know, it could go in either direction.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to see a steamroll. They're fun to do, you know. More power to you if you can steamroll them, you know. They're fun to be in, but they're not fun to watch. In fact, I think like even during the our World Cup qualifying games, we're seeing a lot of mix-ups of who's playing what characters in these particularly what you might call lopsided matches, just to make them more fun. You know, also probably, as Swagasaurus would probably point out, not to give away a lot of trade secrets, but also they're making the games a lot more enjoyable to watch because it's not just a complete steamroll. Luckily, I think everyone's bringing their A-game, A-team characters here, and we're still getting a good fight. Nobody is throwing these maps, but nonetheless, very entertaining to watch.
Indeed. And honestly, Krys1s is doing a pretty great job of keeping the pressure on, you know, really making... They definitely in no way gave the point to Shake and Bake at any given point in time during the match. And you really got to give it credit to their team. You know, every team makes bad plays. But you know what? They really kept Shake and Bake on their toes. They took the first map, and honestly, nothing hurts more than losing the first map, and you kind of put the enemy team at a disadvantage, because what is the possibility of us, you know, losing the mental battle here? And thankfully, in that situation, we were able to see Shake and Bake take the loss as an encouragement to, you know, band together as a team and to fight and to honestly take over and win the next two maps. So good on Shake and Bake.
Absolutely, and they did make those adjustments where they were more cautious about the map control and who had point, and their ult economy was a lot stronger in those last two maps, and that really benefited them. You could really tell from watching that really turned the fights in their favor to keep that on. So well done.
Indeed, and that first pick on the second map from Crispy, when Crispy had gotten taken out early, Crispy on the Symmetra is, I'm not gonna lie, it is straight up annoying. It is
terrifying.
The you know, people can say, oh, you know, Sim doesn't take much skill, but honestly, if you don't have any hit scan background, Symmetra is pretty difficult to play if you don't have that ability to track. And Crispy has that ability, has that skill, and she went in there, put the pressure on the enemy team, and made it to where they had to go out of their way to finish her off, which ended up giving Shake and Bake the win on the point.
Absolutely, they did overextend to get that kill, and that actually made a huge difference. Even with her falling, they were quickly able to get 2 picks on the back of that, and that really turned the fight around. And yeah, also let me say, as a tank player, there is nothing scarier than a Sim with her beam charged up to T3. I will take pretty much any other 1v1 versus besides that.
Exactly. Now this map we're gonna be going into King's Row for the next map, and I kind of have to laugh because there's an unspoken rule that was broken last week, and word on the street was it kind of rubbed you the wrong way.
Well, I mean, King's Row is Reinhardt's map. It has always been Reinhardt's map, and there is kind of a gentleman's agreement among tanks that you will mirror the Rein matchup if it's given to you. Now, that said, I'm not going to hold anyone against their morals for not playing a tank who's obviously kind of mid right now in a grand final tournament. But, I would love to see the Rein mirror because I always love to see it. I think I would call it peak Overwatch. But, there's some better choices here now, unfortunately. The dev team at Overwatch has buffed some tanks to the point that they're just better than Reinhardt, even at the things Reinhardt excels at, which is curious and disappointing and annoying, but this is the world we live in. So what can you do?
Not much. And I'm going to put in the chat to make sure that they swap specs, just in case there's a possibility that they don't forget, because I'd hate to be spectating the enemy team on that. So we'll see how that goes. We will see a change out, which Shake and Bake really didn't have a lot of room last week for any choices of players. We're gonna see Storm come in trade with Crispy.
Absolutely. Storm, the resident projectile expert. Huge Hanzo plays, huge Mei plays a pretty damn good Tracer as well. Although I'm expecting probably to see Hanzo or Mei out of him on this map.
Agreed, and possibly a junk, but I feel like that's gonna get like down to the wire, needing to make an effort, but the game's on the wire, if you will.
Sure. Although I've seen him roll out on the Junkrat, and it works because Junkrat is annoying and does way too much damage.
He does, honestly. And as somebody who started off their Overwatch experience with playing Junkrat, I will say, unknowingly to me, about 3 or 4 months in, I discovered the fact that you could use your mines to launch yourself into the air.
It took you a few months to figure that out. That's funny.
Well, coming with... Oh, go ahead.
I was just he's one of the only character who doesn't do self damage with his projectiles. So I don't blame you for not knowing it, to be honest. You do that with Soldier, you take some damage. You do it with Zarya, you take some damage. I guess Ash's coach gun doesn't damage her, but her dynamite does.
Well, but technically, Ash's coach gun is a shot into the ground, so it's not necessarily like you're blowing something up.
That is true. He's literally putting an explosive mine under his feet and launching himself in the air.
Now entering King's
All right, we are loading into King's Row.
Wow, it actually loaded this time.
I know, I was about to say that. Glad to see that they're able to fix that. We will see what the teams roll out here. Again, there's very little you can do on this first point, but do a brawl. Mirror says what I'm expecting, some rush versus rush. Likely on the Ramatras, even though I'm going to keep hoping for the Rhines until the last second here.
Oh, for sure. And I gotta love the troll picks by Shake and Bake of going Roadhog before the picks went through.
Oh, right. Sure. Yeah, you got to be careful not to put those picks in before the countdown starts, so they will see what you're doing.
Another battlefield.
All right, and I do have spec privileges finally again for all the characters, so hopefully I can be a little more,
To be left alone.
a little more helpful with the play-by-play.
It looks like we're gonna see mostly the same team from Shake and Bake, with the exception with now that we have Storm in here, we're gonna see the Hanzo plays coming out.
Locked and loaded.
Absolutely, and no surprise
Who's
there.
ready to get this
Storm's
done?
Hanzo is pretty cracked. These short chokes. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. All right, so I'm stuck on She Prime again. If I click to She Prime,
no.
I cannot get off She Prime. So I'm spectating She Prime again. Luckily, She Prime is playing amazing these games, really going out of her way to displace the enemy team, move her team around, and feel for her back. So we'll see what happens here.
Task begins.
This beat will
It looks like there's a Reinhardt coming out from the enemy team.
Oh, so Grong is violating the gentleman's code. Shame on him. Let's restart the map. Big damage coming in. That's a huge wall by Krys1s. They might... Oh, big purple too. It's going to be really tough. Swagasaurus falls. Lamp comes out. And they're fighting on their back foot now. Very important for them to stabilize. And they lose Lucio. This might be a one fight first off.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna kind of blame the gentleman's agreement here, that as the cause of the loss of this first point.
Yep, that's what it was. It was just karma. Just karma hitting Grongigus in the butt for rolling out, for daring to roll out on Ramatra. And he switches to the Reinhardt to match the gentleman's agreement. That's what you like to see. Ryan v. Ryan on King's Row, moving into second point here. Let's see if Shake and Bake can take the fight back. Already low on health. Wall comes out and misses. Big wall from Swagasaurus, and good wall riding by She Prime and good movement getting her Ryan out. She almost falls, but luckily able to get back.
Thankfully, her Ryan took a shield, put the shield up for her, and this is where Shake and Bake needs to hold this.
Big wall by Swagasaurus again. Oh no, big loss there. So they lose two, and this fight is over. They need to get out here. And
That was
reset.
not a good shatter by Grong there. The oh my goodness, I can do this shatter.
The battle awaits me.
But nevertheless, was a very quick shatter coming out by Grong.
That's true. He was able to cycle that really quick, and we didn't see the shatter from Fallen Solo yet, so I'm anticipating that to come out pretty early. In fact, they have a lot of ults coming online here. It's going to be really important for them to stabilize this fight, or they're going to lose point two very quickly.
Let them up.
And Window comes out, looking for picks here. Hanzo in the back, Hanzo in the back, very low, but they weren't able to cut. They do manage to get him there. That's great. Big pick on the Hanzo. Ryan charges in, counter charges. Freeze comes out for Krys1s, and Freeze comes out for Shake and Bake. We're still kind of even here. Again, I'm only seeing She Prime's death cam. But
Shake and Bake's gonna lose this. This is
Shake and Bake falls, yeah. And you know, King's Row has been recently a bit
Struggle.
of a struggle, yeah, for Shake and Bake. For some reason, probably one of the most practiced maps, but having some difficulties capitalizing on this map recently.
Shield activated.
So we're entering this fight. No ults on the side of Shake and Bake. I believe we're going to see Rush here, possibly a Nano. Definitely have both support ults on the Krys1s side, so they're definitely on their back foot here with a 5-minute time bank. It's going to be very difficult for Shake and Bake to get back into it. Big wall comes out.
Grong going in a little too far.
Absolutely, yeah. You really got to worry about that May wall. And that is another one fight. 4:45 on the clock as they tick towards the third point cap. Grongi's back up here. He's taking too much space without his enemy. Oh, never mind. Sorry. There we go. He backed up. Very good. They do have Beat coming online, which might be a savior for this. What is going to be a last fight if they don't win it. We will see how this goes now. She kind of
Good shatter
Beat
protect.
comes early. Big. They use cleanse. Commit to this fight. There come dragons. We're gonna lose Swagasaurus and possibly so low health. There goes Grongigus. Fire strike. They have rush out now, and it's just She Prime on point to try and stall as long as she can. And Bap comes out to try and touch two, but I think this is going to be a full cap with just under 4 minutes left in the time bank. Going to be really hard to come back from that.
Yeah, and right there at the end with a shatter and Mail and Reaper, that's gonna be a difficult one to chew. really difficult one to chew. And honestly, if this is a map that you lose, it's okay. It's one map. You need 3 to win. And honestly, you know, there's plenty of maps to play tonight. But you know what? Shake and Bake can come back from this. Like, really, they really can.
Absolutely. I'm fully expecting this to be an overtime situation. I don't see a world where they don't full cap as well, but we shall see. I think it's very important for them. Again, their ult economy was just in the gutter that last round. A lot of wasted ults, a lot of two-men over ulting. It's going to be really important for them to balance that out a little bit better.
Exactly.
Reaper, don't sneak up on
We'll see how this goes. Honestly, just some pressure on the back. If they were, Reaper needs to take a little bit more of an aggressive positioning on putting that back in a position where they really can't think on the backside of Krys1s.
Absolutely, and with this version of Rush they're running, it's just really just a wall of damage coming at you at light speed, and they really need to work on their isolations and just executing whatever character they're able to isolate.
And I think we're going to expect a May wall here. Yep, and they will go. And May's going to fall.
Big pick there. They're going to be going in with this. Block already used with the Ramatras, but violating the gentleman's agreement again on defense on the Krys1s side of things, and they will be punished by Karma by losing this first fight. Although they might have a chance to recap here. Big purple from the Ana. Unfortunately, doesn't quite make anything, and big pick there on the tanks, and this will be first point 1. So there you go. If you've learned anything, it's go Rein or you're gonna lose. The gods of fate will not allow you to win with anyone else. And Fury should be screaming for a team to back up right now with no one to cap for having no line of sight on there. Looks like they're moving back, which is great.
Yeah, and honestly, good aggression on the team of Shake and Bake, just really trying to back them up. But without the payload moving, that aggressiveness really doesn't pay off a whole lot.
Absolutely, yeah, and Swagasaur's absolutely popping off, already 90% to his ult, which is not that fast of a building ult for May, so, and that is another very, very likely to win a fight sort of ultimate, so having that for this next fight is going to be key, and using it at the right time. So let's just hope they manage to tempo this fight well as they push in for a little bit of poke. Lucio getting a little low on health, but they managed to top him up.
And this is going to be an opportunity to take off the Ramatra.
And Ramatra falls.
And their Ramatra's going to fall, yes.
And they're made big boop actually by Krys1 there to keep her from falling in a good position. Her wall ends up being trashed and she falls, and that is a one fight. May ult comes out. I don't think
a little on the
anyone.
late side.
Yeah, that fight was won. I don't think that was a good ult necessarily, but I think that with momentum here, they might actually cap second without another fight.
And a good wall coming out to try to delay them from delaying the point here.
And they do, they get it. With actually 50 more seconds in the time bank than Krys1s had coming into this third point. So, unsurprisingly, both teams very good at their offense and continue to capitalize on that as the team pushes up without Krys1. Here comes out COVID. She manages to get the lamp out, but I think this is going to be a lost fight and just back up and reset for. Good to get that ult out, though.
Yeah, and also kind of putting Shake and Bake in the same position that they were in with time. But honestly, I'm gonna be interested to see how Storm pulls off this Death Blossom here.
The Death Blossom, sure. It's an ult that's very feast or famine. You either die immediately or you get the team wipe. I think with them on Ramatra instead of Reinhardt, it has more likelihood to succeed, but they do have the Honor for the sleep, they have the May for the wall, they have the Kiriko for the cleanse, so it's going to be really difficult to get some value out of it, aside from getting a bunch of cooldowns out. As Dragon comes out and they manage to lamp it and reset, stabilize themselves, and they're going to move through the hallway. I like this, but immediately countered with a 5-man freeze. Even with Beat, they are all going to go down, and that is a lost fight. Beat wasted there, kind of. I think Krys1 did her best to save there, but difficult to know your whole entire team's going to just get caught in that and die, but unfortunately that was completely unwinnable, unstabilized. So
well, and that's an ultimate also that really kind of puts Krys1s at a loss, because that's a really pivotal ult.
Absolutely, and it came early in a fight that didn't really matter as Window comes out from Fury as they push through it. probably going to see, here comes the freeze again, as Grungish gets very low. Still low, managed to get topped up though. May uses her freeze, ice block, no ice block on May. And they continue to push this card in as they have kind of a dominating position, but it'll be important for them. Really, oh, here comes COVID again. It charges so fast, kind of crazy, and that's gonna end that fight. Good push there though, they just need one more fight one here, and they should be able to full cap.
If it were me in that situation, as soon as I would have heard the May ult out, I would have immediately rushed in with Death Blossom there.
Yeah, maybe. Very true. All right, Grung switches over to match the Ram mirror, and we get Kiriko. So both sides almost identical except for the Reaper instead of the Hanzo, and the Kiriko, and the Lucio instead of the Ana. So definitely have the advantage of speed here, which they really need to take advantage of here. Both walls come out, so those cooldowns are down. Really want to see a good Reaper ult here from Storm. It's going to be the key to winning this fight. It's the only ult they have in the game.
I think at this point you need to be putting pressure on the back of the team. And
I think there's
some good pressure.
And Storm does manage to kill the Ana, which is a big pick and gets a lot of cooldowns out, and that really is what you can do with that ult in big team battles. Granga gets falls though.
Oh, that is unfortunate, really. Yeah, in a situation like this, you need to have that aggression, kind of putting the enemy back team at a panic. And I'm just not seeing a whole lot of aggressiveness by Storm in that situation with the Reaper, which is kind of a difference of gameplay, which can be a struggle at times to, you know, make sure that you're playing it in a play style that benefits your team. But I think in that situation, the only way that they would have gotten any value out of that was to have aggression on the backline to keep their backline wondering, and that's going to be a pick on the Storm.
Unfortunate there. Storm switching over to the Hanzo, gets Hanzo'd by the Hanzo. Reverse Hanzo is what you call that, I guess. Yeah. It's like reverse Uno, but Uno reverse card, but Hanzo. Fury does manage to build her ult, Grong does manage to build his ult, and Swag has built a freeze, so they have 3 ults going into this last fight. I think they're going to need all of them to win it. It's going to be important to get those cooldowns out early, as Grong falls low in health. Here comes out the freeze and the rush. Managed to catch the Ramatra, which they need to kill right now. Oh, they managed to get him. Very good, very good. Yeah, and great cleanse there by Fury. Freeze comes out for Krys1s and Nano on the Hanzo. They looking to turn this fight, and it's really on Storm and Swag right now to win it, and I don't think they're going to. They need to reset quickly. Unfortunately, they're going to be going to this last fight here with Knowles.
And I don't know that I would have beat it there, unless there's a change that's going to be coming out by She Prime.
A little bit of BM in the chat, meme beat from Link. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's just an asshole. Of course, from Big Lebowski. I didn't know that. Right, so 30 seconds remaining on the clock as they push in. Both
pressure on
going.
Storm.
Out comes Cleanse, and Grung just like constantly having to keep his health up there, pushing a ton of damage into him and making it difficult for him to address. Nemesis Horn used up now, and out comes the rush from Krys1s and COVID. 13 seconds left on the clock as Grung falls, and this is going to be really difficult to win. I'm going to say this map is going to fall to Krys1s, and we are 1-1 now going into map 3.
Clever tactics.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay there for Shake and Bake, putting that pressure, as I said. You know, it's when you're in the moment, sometimes it just seems like a good idea, but with a tournament game like this that's on the wire, you really have to be making the best choices possible. And with something like that, you know, it happens, you know, but you gotta rise to the occasion and you know, be the better team. And in this situation, Shake and Bake was able, Krys1s was able to come back and you know, put the pressure on like they did last week.
Absolutely. I think they were really good at matching the aggression. They were really smart with their ults, not over-ulting and using them at the right times to bait out cooldowns. And it always had Shake and Bake on their back foot on this map. They had a lot of difficulty aggressing, having to use a lot of cooldowns early in the fight, and that really gave the advantage to Krys1s for this.
Indeed. And on the same note, the picks just came out. Borimaku coming out with, or Macto. Borimakto?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Bo Remac. Yeah, there we go. Just that guy. Did honestly a great job putting the pressure on with Shake and Bake, keeping Storm out of the game. Honestly.
Absolutely, he was definitely controlling the angles with Hanzo, getting some good picks. Also, walls from Link PCP were very solid. And the ram play from Fallen Solo, also really good tempo control, a lot of damage, really owned that map well. So it's going to be important for Shake and Bake to shake that off. That's what they do, right? They shake and bake. And knowing that I don't think they've won a King's Row in this tournament yet, no big deal. Move on to the next map and continue to dominate.
And honestly, something like this where you have to lose a map is really not. Initially, losing one map is not a big deal, but a second map is when things really get down to the wire. But we're gonna see Circuit Royale come out, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't it a favorite for one of our team players?
I think our team generally favors Circuit Royale. Storm and Crispy both loving the poke comps, liking to be on those sniper heroes. The Sigma play from Grong very strong. Fury's Zen is absolutely sick. Just disgusting with that well-used Discord orb, and they play this map very well, so it's really going to be their map to lose. They've practiced a lot, they know how this comp works, they know how to play this map, so I'm expecting to see some strong play from Shake and Bake here, and see if Krys1s can rise to the occasion and match them.
That would be awesome. And honestly, like this is probably going to be an opportunity where we're going to see either some Ashe. I'm going to bank on we're going to see an Ashe come out from Fury or Crispy. And that comboed with a She Prime Mercy, pretty nasty, not gonna lie, but I would not be surprised if we see a Widowmaker come out. But with a situation in a game like this, there's a high possibility that Fallen Solo will go to a Winston, and a Widowmaker pick here would not be beneficial to Shake and Bake. So as much as I would love to see a Widowmaker come out here, that would be I think it would be a detriment to Shake and Bake.
Absolutely. The more consistent damage from the Ashes is a better choice in my opinion too.
And also with the coach gun, the ability to either push back or get out of dodge. That happens a lot more frequently than a hook shot.
True, very true. And you still have the one-shot potential from Storm's Hanzo, so he's able to control those angles still, and like Crispy just poke down tanks, hit her shots. With the damage boost, Ashe hits a lot of characters for a lot of damage. Functionally not that different from Widow with the nerfs at the range, which we play this first map, I think is just a little bit over the 50-meter nerf that they've recently brought in. So yeah, by far I think a better pick for this map, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Yeah, so we're gonna see who comes out on the teams in about 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, this map was honestly one of my favorites upon the release of Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I think it's a well-designed map. Very difficult to cap 3 points on, obviously, but the angles provided both for the offense and defense make for some really compelling gameplay. Obviously, its long sight lines lend itself to poke more than any other map. I've seen other comps work in it, but generally that is what people are going on.
And it looks like what you said is going to happen. We are going to see a Fury Zen. We're going to see a She Prime Mercy and a Crispy Ashe. And that was honestly good pick, good play on the team of Shake and Bake with picks right now, as well as Storm coming out on the Hanzo and Grong with the pressure to put on with
Yet the man in the mirror never
Sigma.
appears to change.
Absolutely. Pretty much the best comp you can run on first point defense here. People may argue that a BAP instead of a Mercy or a BAP instead of a Zen is a better alternative. But honestly, Shake and Bake has managed to put out so much damage with this comp that they don't need to heal anyone. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
The payload.
Especially when damage is not in short supply. A Zen definitely helps.
Hanzo Soldier for the enemy team. They are mirroring Sigma.
And Sigma's almost gonna go down.
Yeah, big rock on the Hanzo there. He almost falls as well, but they managed to stabilize him there.
Point me in the right direction.
And Crispy just poking down from her angle. Quick reload. Big dynamites are going to be a big part of this. Those damage boosted dynamites build Bob up really fast.
There's one here.
And space being given by Shake and Bake right now as Krys1s aggresses to a forward position. They're going to need to fall back soon, or they're going to get put out. And they manage to make their way out as Grong tries to stabilize up front there. They give up that high ground, and Krys1s smartly takes the high ground away from them. They're now in a really good spot to aggress here, and they put Shake and Bake on their back foot. Really need the team to stabilize. If Crispy falls, we might get a res out of this if we're lucky.
I don't think it's going to be a wise decision in this.
Not
in this
anymore.
situation.
There was a very short window that it could have worked. Sigma overextended here into the team. He almost falls, but they managed to stabilize him. Grong contesting the point here. Only a few meters to go. If they lose this fight, this is going to be first point loss. So really important to get a good recontest here. Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Wind comes out really early.
and Storm's going to finish off.
Absolutely great play by Storm. They do res it, but luckily manages to dodge the Sigma ult and the dragons to continue to test the point. She brought great res on Grongius as Flux comes out and Trank comes out. Big pick on the Mercy. Lamp falls. They push back. Back foot by Krys1s here as they are going to give up that fight, try and stabilize, and come back in. They're going to be contesting with Bob and Dragon. I think that was a great played fight by Shake and Bake there. They did a really good job controlling the aggression, hiding, waiting for cooldowns to come out, and then using their ultimates at the right time. That was a very hard fight to win, and they won it.
And the Bob coming out in the back for Shake and Bake, and that's going to be enough pressure to put the Fallen Solo out.
Huge pick, misplaced lamp with him just a little too far forward. He falls to the rock. Great pressure there, surrounding them with both the dragon and the Bob. You hate to lose both those ultimates together, but it really did isolate them and force them to play in a way that was detrimental to their lives.
Oh, good pick by Crispy on Link
Huge pick by
PCP.
Crispy. Absolutely. We might see it res. Yeah, we see it res here as the clock ticks down, less than a minute to go. We are 1 or 2 fights away from a full cap here if they can keep up their work. We have Valk ready to go. I expect that to come out this fight pretty early. Big rock by Grong. Big rock by Fallen Solo. Window comes out.
A lot of
Krys1s,
ultimates
and they
coming out
managed
for
to get
Krys1s.
Grong, yeah. And I expect them to cap here with 2 picks early on in this fight. They're still full strength. I think they're pushing in without it. Yep, there we go. First point capped with just under a minute left. The time bank, though, whittling down. They're going to have a lot to do to get this to the second point before overtime.
In a game like this, Mercy is a critical because it is very easy to get put in the wrong position with Mercy.
Absolutely, it really is. You often find yourself GAing over people or going to the wrong spots or thinking you're clear for a res. You have to be really smart. Big, huge flux by Grong. Gets 3, lamp comes out. They are low, though, on their back foot. There's a big pick on the Hanzo and the BAP and the Soldier, and Mercy now just clean up.
That one's on the house.
Very compelling fight.
Huge play coming out by Crispy. Wow.
That was massive. Bob came out too, and wow, just
Enemy sighted.
Now, if you had to guess, who's going to get play of the game here? Grong or Ash?
No, probably Ash. I mean, it depends on who gets credit to. I really, if I was giving play of the game, I'd give it to Grong. That was a super smart flux. Baited out all the cooldowns except for Lamp.
Oh, huge pick!
Another big pick by Crispy. Crispy is just popping off right now.
She's put in her zone right now because a sniper is really where Crispy belongs.
Absolutely, over 7,000 damage halfway through the first round from Crispy. Actually insane amount of damage with that first pocket.
Oh, and right in the middle of the ultimate.
Yeah, huge.
But we got a Zen ult coming out. But Crispy's gonna fall. But here's a possibility of a
I
res.
think we're getting the res there. Yeah, still both teams full strength. Flux can't really do anything. Out comes Rock, and really need to stabilize here. There comes Lamp though. That's a big one if they can. Oh, unfortunately, Grong falls. And Crispy next, and that's going to be a one fight. They're probably capping second here with just under a minute left, which gives us about 2.5 minutes for the third. Which again, is not a lot of time for this third point. Very hard to cap. See if they can stabilize and hold them off. They really just need to win one fight here to put them on their back foot, and it's very tough to get the fight going again.
Yeah, the angles here are very difficult for the attacking team to just kind of keep the pressure on.
Absolutely, yeah. They really, smart teams, high elo teams tend to take the high ground behind and rotate around, getting some off angles, and getting a lot of value out of that. Great block there by Giga.
Huge.
But I think Krys1s is choosing to take this fight up front. We do have an ult coming from Grong soon. Out comes Rock, out comes Window, out comes Lamp. If he can survive this, unfortunately he does fall to the window. They're going to need to touch here, or they're going to not be able to recontest.
This might be a situation where She Prime's Battle Mercy might need to come out and touch the point.
Yeah. Yeah, she's stuck way behind. Just gets a very quick touch. Luckily it was enough. Soldier flanking with his ult. Double Sig ult. Managed to survive though. Soldier almost dies, but the Mercy getting a res off on, what was that guy's name? Boric Makto. I'm just gonna say Bori. We're gonna call him Bori.
We'll call him Bori.
This is a very difficult fight. They're still stabilized here with 45 seconds left. Storm falls on, She Prime falls, and that's gonna 45 seconds to the time bank. Not bad. Definitely doable. You would have liked to see a hold there, though.
Yeah, Link PCP being really good about putting the pressure on. That's kind of something I mentioned in the last game with Storm, with the Reaper. Link is really taking advantage of these flanks and these opportunities to come out on the side, and it was very difficult for Shake and Bake to come back to the point and fight off a team head on when you've got a soldier on your side just stabbing at you and really causing you to panic when it comes to trying to retake and heals and, you know, abilities. It can be very difficult for a player to try to take that pressure.
Absolutely. Constant damage from Soldier, you know, just able to shoot non-stop almost, but the Mercy damage boost does a lot of damage. I think people tend to kind of miss Soldier because they think he doesn't do enough burst damage, but with the Mercy Pocket he can be very lethal, as Link has shown us with his 19 kills and 9,000 damage, almost matching Crispy in damage, and 8 up on the kills. So I think it's going to be important here for Shake and Bake to get early picks and capitalize on them, really take advantage positions and keep Krys1s from setting up.
Indeed, and hopefully we'll see that happen as the doors will open.
They are rolling out with the BAP instead of the Zen here. I think they just need a little bit more healing. I think that's smart for them. Unfortunately, the Zen just not able to provide enough value. So hopefully they'll get more value here out of the BAP.
Grong really taking the space given to put the pressure on.
I don't like Krys1s playing this far back this early on in the fights.
Yeah.
Giving up a lot of space, giving up that high ground to Grong is a mistake in my opinion, but we will see if they are able to stabilize and capitalize on the huge rock.
BAP is going to fall, and Storm's going to take out Bori.
Dink on Bori. We're looking for a res here. No, Crispy denies the res on Monkey Punky, and they are going to win this fight definitively.
Barrier has been overwhelmed.
And definitely a difference in team play when it comes to watching the two different fights. Chicken Bake just really making good choices. And I don't know, maybe Krys1s wasn't as sure about their positioning and just really gave up a lot of necessary space. And it looks like we're going to get point.
Almost. They get a last-minute touch here from Tank. But yeah, I agree with you. They played that very passively, and it was to their detriment. They were not able to capitalize off of anything, and the picks kept coming. As they roll up here with almost 2.5 minutes in the time bank. Both teams full strength now.
And Soldier's gonna fall.
Yeah, that's gonna be big rock to get Storm out of his dragons, but I think they cap here anyway. Unfortunate
Mercy
there,
needs to
but
fall here. And she does.
She does. Yeah, very good. You know, the thing about Storm the dragon is it's really just a zoning ult. Very rarely kills anyone. So you know what? It got people to move back anyway. It did its job even though it didn't come out.
Yeah, and you know, once again, keeping the payload moving, good pressure coming out by Grog. We're gonna have to see. Let's see, we've got Bob coming out, and
Absolutely.
honestly,
Window
some
comes
good
out.
pressure here with the window.
So it's so smart to take all of this space here on second point when you can and really just push the advantage because it's really hard to push through that doorway when the whole team is pushed up. Smart putting Storm in the back on the Hanzo. Huge pick by Crispy. They've switched to Ashe now on Krys1s side, so no more Sojourn. And the picks just keep rolling here. Another Storm just dinks Blink there. They do get the res out, and out comes Window. She-Prime going for the res, manages to get it. She gets out with her life just barely, and gets picked off just at the last second there. Unfortunate, but still a winnable fight if they aggress here. Dynamite was big. Lamp comes out, so there's nothing to prevent the kills from coming in now on Krys1s. And this is Shake and Bake fight to lose now. Let's see if we can get some picks. Hanzo falls. Storm falls to Goosh. Lamp breaks again. And that falls. I think that's going to be a lost fight. Yeah. Luckily, didn't waste ult there. They're going to come back into this fight with some strong ults coming online. Should have no trouble capping second in this next fight.
A revelation was within my reach.
Honestly, an ult here that I'd like to see is another gravitic is it gravitic pulse?
Flux.
Gravitic flux. I'd like to see another gravitic flux come out with Bob on the bottom of it. That's what I'd like to see here.
Yeah, you pull everyone up in the air and let Bob start shooting at their butts. Very, very difficult to stabilize.
And there's a possibility we might see that right here.
Out comes Rocks, there comes Flux immediately after that. Very smart. See if we can get some pickoffs in the air. Lamp comes out and falls. Suck comes out, it's gone. Storm falls to Ashe. Window comes out now. They're investing ult. They really need to win this fight. They're going to have not much to go with on the next. But Bap falls. Ashe, their Ashe is just stealing picks. Crispy popping off though.
And I think there's a good chance that we're going to see a pick here.
Return to me.
Oh, this is a difficult
both
match.
get red. Yeah.
My barrier is gone.
Not gonna lie, I'm on the edge of my seat here.
It is, yeah. They're great pressure on the point for Krys1s, but their tank about to fall. If they can get him still very low. And gets off here, I think might isolate enough that they'll be able to cap this point. Mercy Valking going for him. Mercy manages to get the kill on Storm.
Really difficult here. There's so many ults that have gone through here to take this point over, and we really need to see some picks coming out, and Mercy needs to be one of them.
Absolutely. Getting the Mercy early on so she can't get that. That was such a high value res on the Sigma. Really just turned the fight around, and it's unfortunate they were able to deny it. 1 minute left on the clock as they push into what might be their last fight here. So they really need to capitalize here. We do have dragons. important for splitting off ults and getting cooldowns out. I think they really should use this early.
Vector calculated.
You're completely healed.
They also need to get this BAP off of this tank. And Sigma ult comes out, manages to catch the BAP, hopefully he can drop Lamp, and he does. Out comes Dragon, which is super smart. Rez comes out on the BAP, Lamp falls, Sigma very low, Sigma falls, Mercy, the only one left, and they're going to get this cap, luckily, if they can kill this BAP very quickly. And Tracer's still on point.
G Prime coming out with the kill on Mercy.
Very good. Wins the Mercy duel. The Mercy v Mercy. Love to see it. And they do manage to cap. 1 minute 45 left here. Gonna be a challenge to get this rolled in all the way. They really have to do it.
Actuating the barrier.
Yeah, and it looks like a little bit of a late exit of Spawn coming out by Goosh. But looks like his team's able to join him very quickly, and hopefully we'll see. Hopefully not Grong falling down.
Yeah, no, luckily he managed to get his suck out, goes very low. They did switch to a junk right here, so they got more damage coming in. So it's really good that Fury's on the BAP here. Otherwise it's really hard to stabilize as Window comes out from her. Capitalizing on this position, really smart Window, good placement. Lamp comes out, Stuck comes out, and very quickly Krys1s are losing their defensive capabilities and cooldowns,
60 seconds.
and it's up to Shake and Bake to capitalize on them. Strong taking a good position. Huge picks. BAP and Soldier fall.
Mercy comes back out with a res, which means that they're not going to have any reses for the last fight here.
That is true. So Mercy becomes less of a must pick.
Huge
I guess,
pick
at
by
this point.
Crispy on the Soldier ult thing.
All right, negates the res completely, and now they're really on their back foot. It's going to be really important for them. Big pick on the Junkrat. That was what I was about to say.
BAP is down.
Yeah, Lamp comes out, BAP falls, only Mercy left, no res. Sig comes out with his flux, gets nobody. Manages to get strong, maybe. Yeah. Oh, big rock, big rock.
Barrier initiative.
Mercy floating above, very
Sigma
low
needs
health.
to fall here.
Crispy
as well
has
as
her
the
ult.
supports.
Throw that immediately as Bob comes out, very good. 7 seconds on the clock as Tire just decimates the team, and unfortunately that is going to be the fight ender. Man, I hate that ultimate. Man, I hate that character.
Which one?
Junkrat.
Yeah. You hate to see it when it's not on your team,
That is very true. Yeah.
but you love
no.
to see it when it's yours.
No, I hate him even when he's on my team. Feels cheap. But what can you do, you know? He's a character in the game. People are allowed to play.
Agreed. And honestly, Leaked PCP coming out and really putting the numbers in and really fighting for this. Great plays.
Definitely brought their A game. I think probably the biggest flaw on the side of Shake and Bake was not managing to deny those reses. They were really game changing for the team. And the reses alone stalled out second point for 2 minutes, like easily. Just completely decimated their time bank and put them on their back foot.
I need to, when I'm saving this in the end, after this is complete, I will be labeling that whole team fight as the value of having a Mercy on your team.
It really is an annoying value for you to work so hard to get a pick and see it come right back into the fight, especially if it's a tank or another support. But yeah.
Now only if you went back to the Overwatch 1 days, a year after release, and you had the 6-man reses. Imagine that.
Sure. At least that was just an ultimate. You know, you could do that once every couple of minutes, not once every 28 seconds. Or how long is that cooldown now? Still 28? 30?
I believe so.
Yeah. But what can you do? So, Krys1s 2 maps, Shake and Bake 1. They will have the pick of this, what could be a final map, but I'm hoping will lead us to a map 5. Shake and Bake, let's see what they go with here. What are you anticipating? I think we're getting a push map, if I remember correctly.
If it's gonna be a push map, I kind of want to see Coliseo.
Coliseo?
I personally don't like it, but it's honestly better than Queen Street.
Anything's better than Queen Street. My least favorite push map. I don't like any of the push maps, but that's my least favorite one. Coliseo's okay. I do like Esperanza, but To your statement, I
true.
do think Coliseum plays more into their strengths right now. So I think that'd be a good choice. But we shall see.
And honestly, I would not be surprised if we see a Crispy Farah come out on push. I would not be surprised.
Very true. Crispy, strong on the Echo and the Farah. With that Mercy Pocket, just a lot of trouble, especially in the maps that have a lot of open space, which actually all the push maps do to some degree. Angles to play off of. Very strong characters going in there, the Flyers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. I think that's a good call. We shall see.
Would love to see it, but we're going to wait and see what the map pick will be for this one. And if it's said in the chat, I do not see it because I have chat minimized for the sake of the stream.
No, I think that they message them in private, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But yeah, honestly, and would you think to see that we're going to see a pick coming over to Swagger Soar?
That is a good question. I'm not sure. I think it's map dependent. Where his expertise comes in. Swag, very good with the brawl comps, also a very good tracer. So you tend to see him more in the dive comps, which they haven't run yet today, neither team. But we shall see.
Which I don't know that you're going to want to see a dive comp coming out on push.
Calisteo especially no. Dive works on Esperanza. It kind of I do think it works on New Queen Street, but that long corridor where 50% of the fights take place, very difficult to dive, hard to get on top of other teams, a very pokey sort of forward design of that map.
Yeah, but we will see how that plays out. We'll see how the picks come out. Can go in either way, but right now we are in favor of Krys1s 2-1. Shake and Bake needs to put the brakes on right now. They need to put the brakes on and shift it into gear and make some picks. They really had a lot of good momentum coming up, but I feel like in some cases they maybe stayed in an area too long, or they just didn't put enough pressure. And I think you definitely had said. Definitely the Mercy got away with everything.
With reverse murder, I'm gonna call it. She got away with reverse murder.
She got away with Rez. She got away with Rez, I guess.
Yeah, which is reverse murder, if you think about it. If you kill somebody, if you unkill them, that's what Rez is, right?
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
And I'm mistaken, I guess we're not getting a push map. Push is saved for map 5. I guess we're getting a second hybrid map, and Eichenwalde is what Shake and Bake has chosen. A love or hate sort of relationship with that map. Often able to dominate first point, struggle a bit through second, and then dominate third again. Hopefully they can capitalize on big picks, big damage, big speeds, big other things. I don't know, a few other things. What else would be big?
Honestly, I think Farah could be pretty powerful here, but also I think a situation that could definitely prove itself valuable is, and I believe we've done this composition together, but a Symmetra TP across when you're on the attacking side, a good Symmetra TP going across the point can really throw the team for a loop.
That's true. Yeah, we have seen that on occasion. Just like an instant teleport. Really, it's just like a Lucio boost on crack. Just instantly using that to really move the team around the map has proved to be successful in the past. We'll see if they roll out with that sort of option, but who knows?
Who knows? And it's not really a sniper happy map, but I will say hit scan will be definitely necessary when it comes to keeping a Farah under control, and even then a good Farah will play the corners properly and be able to keep the pressure on the team and not really have an opportunity, especially if you've got your team pushing down on the ground. Soldier really can have a difficult time putting the angles on a Farah, and we'll see how that goes for Shake and Bake.
Absolutely, yeah. A pharmacy, very difficult to kill if you can't kill the Mercy first. and She Prime has historically shown ability to remain alive for a ridiculous amount of time when she's pocketing a Crispy Farah, playing very safely. Probably because Crispy's so good at playing corners as well that she never really overextends or puts herself in a bad spot unless she knows she can really get a quick kill or two. So it's definitely a strong pick from them. We'll see if they go with it here. I would be surprised to see it on first point, honestly, but I've been surprised in the past.
Yep, and it looks like we are going to see a swap for Shake and Bake.
Swaggosaurus coming in for Storm. And I think that I'm not sure exactly what their plan is. There might be to use a May. It's got a strong May. We shall see.
Indeed. And honestly, Eichenwalde has a history of some pretty fun plays in the past. One of them being the May Sim Teleport, which is honestly Chef's Kiss classic.
Stir of course, yeah.
And I've used it to win a tournament before, so it is definitely beneficial if the team is not expecting it. If the team is expecting it, then you are up a creek.
Unfortunately, not possible anymore, as far as I know. I don't.
It is not. It is not.
Yeah. But that was fun. I love seeing that.
Gronk coming out on the Roadhog. Yes.
Roadhog, Genji, definitely strong picks from Shake and Bake there.
All right. Well, we are going to kind of the typical defense comps that Shake and Bake has been putting out, and
What'd you think?
definitely not disappointed.
Nope. The modified heavy rush brawl, I think, plays into their strengths, especially strong on defense here, where you have a lot of choke points to exploit. So I think this is a good pick from them. And it's going to be important for them to isolate the enemy team and take advantage of that. With the May walls, put them into turrets, slow them down, put them into Ram E, slow them down. A lot of slowdown. Freeze them, slow them down. Boop them, which will slow them down a little bit. And I don't think, unfortunately, Fury has an ability to slow anyone down. She can speed people up. But nonetheless, I think we're going to look at some really nice point control from Shake.
Sounds like a Reinhardt we're going to see.
We do have a Rhine from Krys1s. Looks like they're running a similar comp, looking for TP. They TP to the left side, similar to the strat we talked about. They're there to capitalize. And Gronk very low, about to fall if he's not careful here as the two Sims battle. Swaggosaurus falls, Gronk falls, and I think that's going to be a first point cap almost immediately. They fell to the TP strat. It is still strong.
It is very strong, and honestly, one of those things coming out on Swaggosaur would have been interesting to have seen. As playing May before and being a troll to Reinhardt, nothing like going into Cryo right in front of a charging Reinhardt to keep him from getting any value.
Sure. We're going to see Shake and Bake swap over to a dive comp here with the Tracer, Monkey, Echo, Mercy, and remaining on the Kiriko. I think this is a smart swap for them. I think they're going to need this to kind of gain some control, kite the just ridiculous damage from their team. Unfortunately, they have to rely on some isolation, and if Krys1s are able to play together, it's going to be really tough for them to get picks and stop this card progress.
We're going to see several picks come out in favor of Krys1s. This is not good for Shake and Bake.
So Swaggosaurus getting right-click ice-picked by the May. And point pushes on. We are moving to... They need to get the second fight as payload comes underneath structure here. Big movement in the back line. Ryan pins back to Peel for his team. Big pick on the BAP there. Swaggosaurus falling, but they're still up and can win this fight if they're smart. Out comes Cleanse, which is big. Ryan charge.
We're going to see their Bori Baku going to the ever among us Grog. putting the pressure in with his ult.
Yeah, absolutely. Big pick by Krys1s on the Mei there to win that fight, and that's a huge fight to win. It stops that momentum, enables them to take hopefully 2 fights now if the point pushes back far enough, and really just burn down that time bank, which is still at 4 minutes, which is a lot. They really need to stall here. Need to get that clock under a minute before getting into 3rd point. Ideally, though, just capping, holding 2nd. That's what I would like to see.
That was a nice get out of dodge there.
Absolutely, yeah. Krys1s looking to move and take this high ground away.
Oh, huge pressure!
As we get the rush coming out, Reinhardt going for a pin, getting back to his team. They take a stagger this Mei. Great pick there. That was a very decisive fight. Well done by Krys1s. Ryan pushing out still. That is going to be
that was
massive
a bad
pick.
pick.
Huge dagger. And as the time bank
big
sits
slam.
Down, yeah, right. Oh, I missed the slam. Damn it.
He did shatter, but he got no value.
Yeah. Looks like he did that because he's switching over. We're going to have dive v dive right now as Krys1s switches over to a dive comp as well. Clock ticks under 3 minutes. Great point control right now, and really good job taking the momentum away from Krys1s by Shake and Bake. Coming into this fight strong. Krys1s going to have a dupe coming. Monkey probably will get his primal. I expect this to be a good fight. Oh, caught out though. He does primal. There we go. Yeah. Mei Freeze comes out, doesn't catch anyone.
Duplicating Winston.
Kind of catches the monkey, but I think he's gonna be fine. 2 monkeys now on Shake and Bake, doing their business. Mercy caught out though, alone, picked off by the Tracer. Crispy duplicate killed by the BAP. And progress.
Oh, good pressure on Fallen Solo.
Yeah, great job with that E ability by Crispy and Gecko to really burn down that tank fast.
Nice get out of dodge by Grong.
Absolutely. Fury in a very crazy position. If she could get her TP back, she did manage. That was a great job actually to turn their attention away so that they could get Grong healed back up, and he gets 2 picks really quick there, really capitalizes on that, and that is another 1 fight as we move to 1 minute 45 on the clock.
I'm with you.
Now, with this kind of pressure that Shake and Bake is putting on the team, what do you think the likelihood of seeing a Reaper come out for Krys1s?
I don't think... I'm not a huge fan of making like the tank counter picks when you're in this high level of tournament play. It's great when you're solo queuing and you can't count on your supports to necessarily keep your tank up, but I don't think he's as big of a counter as people like to pretend he is, so I think it would be a mistake for them as well, especially with this dive out there.
Yeah, and especially with the heroes that are at play.
Good map positioning now by Shake and Bake, taking a control of the backside of the team and really focusing down their supports, getting in good positions. Grong's doing a great job, not staying too long, getting quick picks and getting out. There's another one on the Ana. That's going to be really hard for them to come back without their main source of healing. Although Cleanse comes out, Speed comes out, we will see Fury is getting pressured by the Tracer, but she had to back out. She prime falls here. Actually, this might be a 1 fight for Krys1s as the clock ticks down. If they're smart, Shake and Bake would get out of this fight. They have 1 more fight to push this into overtime. They just need to chill. I think we're gonna get a switch from Fury here. Yes, Fury switches to the Ana. Last minute touch here.
Quick fall by Swag.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You're gonna need to get a pick quick here. 2 monkeys though with the copy is very good. No recall on the Tracer now. We see a good nade from Ana. This is possibly winnable as Primal comes out. Ana purple and low.
Good
she will
pressure on the Ana.
Mercy getting the res, somehow gets it off. That is a fight-changing res. They might be able to win this here. That is insane. What the balls on She Prime there. Holy shit. She knew she had to make that res or the fight was lost. She managed to get it off, and they turned that fight around to stop them from capping 2nd point. That is a very, very strong play there on defense there by Shake and Bake. They did a great job. Those last 5 or 6 fights, all almost perfect. There's a little bit of spread out on the 4th fight, 2nd to last one there, that led to Mercy getting picked early, but I think they played that really smart. And surprising, we don't see a lot of dive out of them, but they played it very well, especially Gongagus really playing the monkey well, not overcommitting, not staying in too long, getting quick picks and getting out and getting healed up. Just really compelling gameplay. I thought it was very well done.
Very, very well done. And honestly, I have to kind of laugh at the Sojourn ulting and then immediately being faced with 2 monkeys at the end there.
The monkey dupe. I 2 primaling monkeys I can't even imagine, you know. But just 2 regular monkeys with those 2 bubbles, infuriating, making it very difficult to. And I think that's a great choice for your dupe as an Echo to pick the tank always, but especially a Winston is very, very obnoxious. And well done, well done.
And honestly, the what, go ahead.
No.
Well, I was gonna say the pressure coming out that you have with 2 takes is something that is just greatly missed. You know, depending on if it's the same tank or not, but you know, just that it just goes to show how much of a difference 2 tanks versus 1 DPS is.
Absolutely, and Swaggers are a little slow to get out of spawn here. Luckily, She-Prime recognizes that, picks him up, and looks like we're going to get a TP play here as well from Shake and Bake. Big movement. Wall misses a little bit, but they are on top of them. And Lamp comes out.
Gotta get
Lamp
that turret out.
Bap very low. Bap. If they can get back here quick, that is gonna help them win this very quickly. Oh, big E by Grongigas here. Back into Nemesis form. He really is pushing this Bap here. Nice. Big
Bap is down.
Yeah. Now need to deny res here. Absolutely need to deny res.
And Mercy is down.
Yeah, very good. Torp left on point. Only one. Ram is back, but he's going to fall quickly, I think. And they also, very strong cap, less than a minute, managed to get this cart moving. And this is a strong position for Shake and Bake right now. If they can capitalize on this momentum, they'll take second point really easily.
And not to mention, we have 3 ultimates coming up, like really, like we already have 1, we've almost got another, and we're over halfway for a 3rd. That's
Absolutely.
really good, you know, situational thing here.
Yeah, and they go in hard. I really like this play, aggressing on them quickly with the TP. They get 2 picks really quick. Invest COVID. I think that's also smart. Second pick, third pick coming in. This is going to be very definitively one fight for Shake and Bake here as they push around that corner, moving themselves into one fight territory very quickly. If they can get it past this next corner.
Yeah, and honestly, setting the pace, which is something that Shake and Bake has really struggled with as of lately. And honestly, just some good pressure coming out is something that we needed to see.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, you do not win this game by being reactive. You win it by taking the right aggression at the right time and capitalizing on it. So another good wall. Oh, Gronk almost falls off the wall. Another good wall there. Unfortunately, looks like this might be a fight lost for Shake and Bake as 3 fall here. And that's just clean up and reset. Let's get into the next fight.
And much to my chagrin, we're going to see a Pharah come out for Bori.
Interesting pick here. They're switching over to dive again on the Shake and Bake side with the Echo Tracer, which I think is a smart choice. Really just need to win a couple fights here to win this map. So see some smart positioning, good dives, and good cooldown usage to capitalize. Bap getting very low. Lamp comes out early, which is great. Grong needs to get out of there, get healed up.
That's going to be COVID and I believe Pharah ult, right? Or no, Sojourn.
Sojourn. That's good. Getting COVID out there for what was already a lost fight, I think is good value.
Amazing value, and really we don't have it too far. I would say maybe 2 fights total.
Two
for Shake and Bake.
One full fight. Yeah, 1 full fight and 1 stagger fight. I think if they can keep this card from moving back too much further. As Grong cycles around looking for a good pick there. On the Sojourn quickly, forces her ability out.
There's an enemy here.
What really is going to win this fight for them is Crispy winning this Pharah versus Echo duel. If she can do that, as Grong actually takes a really good position to force the Mercy to
and Fury's going to take out Pharah.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly what he needed to do. He took the focus away, so the Mercy had to help her BAP and peel, and that turns into a one fight. Very smart play there.
Huge
And
play.
this is just cleanup now. They're keep 3 on cart. They're struggling to get back. We're probably going to get a touch from Krys1s here, but it's not going to be a full team fight. There's the BAP and the Pharah. Lamp comes out quickly. Nano on the Winston here.
Bear's gonna fall.
And huge purple takes out 2 other characters. Mercy, they need to deny res here. Really? Oh, she got it already on the farm. My bad. I wasn't paying attention. It's unfortunate. One meter left. I think Gronk.
There's a pit coming out, and Mercy's getting
huge,
pressured
no.
greatly.
Fight turns around, and that is going to just ball left now. If they can poke him out, this is a one fight. BAP left on point. Big purple comes in, gets Lamp out. Lamp lost. BAP falls. Ball is half on point. He's going to fall, and that is a 1 map for Shake and Bake, putting it at 2 and 2, pushing us into a 5th map. Amazing play.
Oh my goodness! If it could get on the edge of our seats anymore.
That last fight, I could have sworn was lost. I'm so amazed that they were able to turn that around. But this play right here by Grong, it missed the beginning of it, but his decision to force pressure onto the BAP, get the Mercy off that Pharah, it let Fury get a couple shots in on the Pharah and pick her off. They had to waste res there, so when they lost their tank, they didn't have it, and then it was just a scramble to get back to that match. They did a really good job.
Oh boy. I guess I'll ask you at this point. What do you think for if this is indeed a push map? What do you think?
It's a good question. I'm not sure. I question whether Krys1s is able to respond to a dive comp properly. They have struggled with it when they ran it. You see a lot of division in where their team is playing, a lot of early picks coming out for Shake and Bake when they play the dive. I would not be surprised to see them take an Esperanza and run dive as opposed to going for the poke or brawl, which Krys1s obviously seems to be pretty strong on a map like Coliseo. But we will see. I'm not sure. And yeah, I think either way, it's going to be an electrifying final.
For sure. And if you guys weren't already on the edge of your seats, it's going to buckle up. Buckle up.
And we anticipated this. We knew this was going to be close. We knew that these are 2 very, very well-matched teams that have similar strengths, similar weaknesses, not necessarily in the same places, but it really is just coming down to who's able to capitalize off of the other team's weaknesses better. And it seems like Shake and Bake is slowly figuring out what Krys1s can't really excel at and exploiting that. And if they can continue to do that into the 5th map, I think they're going to take this championship.
Yeah, I completely agree. Mindset, like when it comes to Krys1s here, what are you thinking if you're Krys1s?
If I'm Krys1s, I'm thinking we need to just calm down. It seemed like they kind of lost control of themselves just by the constant pressure that Shake and Bake was applying to them. They need to back up. They need to recompose themselves. They need to reset, take fights full strength. And if you're playing into a dive comp, you need to decide like ahead of time if you're going to counter dive or if you're going to anti-dive. And doing half of each is exactly how dive is able to exploit that. And that's what they were doing on Eichenwalde, both defense and offense. And that's going to be a huge weakness for them if they can't do that. So they really need to I think, unify on what their defensive and offensive strategies are going to be.
And I'm wondering if we're going to have, let's see. Yeah, I think we're going to see a break coming out.
Okay. I could use that break myself. Oh, New Queen Street is the map decision, and interesting choice.
That would be my pick.
I'm forgetting that's Krys1s' choice since they lost the last map. So yeah, fair. So New Queen Street obviously lends itself to not poke comps. I would say there's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of hidden spaces and angles. It'll be interesting to see what they run here. I know that Shake and Bake has run a ball comp here before, but actually just with the strength of Grongigas's monkey today, I would love to see some Winton Overwatch here in the map 5.
I would as well. I really would like to see that as well. I feel like in this situation, you kind of have to put the DPS for Krys1s at a disadvantage. I feel like they kind of had to go out of their comfort picks. We're not seeing a whole lot of options for not seeing a whole lot of choices coming out for Krys1s when it comes to DPS, like a backup to swap. You know, with our team, you got Swag, you got Crispy, and you have Storm. But for Krys1s, you really don't have much of a choice. So if you're kind of set for those player pools, and I feel like that might have been, like you had said, like kind of the, you know, issue at hand towards the end is when you're having to play outside of your comfort zone. That really can be a bother because you're not in that mindset to, you know, play a Pharah. As somebody who has played all the roles, if somebody asks me to play Pharah, or if they ask me to play Widow, or they ask me to play Soldier, I'm comfortable swapping to those, but not everybody else is.
Sure, you have your heroes that you're comfortable on, absolutely, and just by virtue of how Overwatch works, certain characters play better against other characters, and if your hero pool is too small, sometimes you're going to get countered. And I think we're seeing that a lot with the dive. You know, we are not exactly sure what DPS are going to work for Krys1s that will allow them to capitalize and push back on this dive, either through picks on the back line or anti-diving the Winston when he goes in. We haven't seen that kind of response from their DPS yet. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that, assuming that Shake and Bake plays dive. I don't really know what they're going to do. They might roll out on Brawl. I mean, Brawl works well here too.
Yeah, I feel like something that we might have to be watching out for as well is that there's a possibility for Pharah on this map. And with Pharah, you can really put yourself in a bad situation where if you're at the middle of the map, a Pharah can easily hop over that middle building and put pressure on the back line of a team. So something that I'm gonna predict, if you will, is if that happens, Pharah, Shake and Bake has to respond to that. If they do not respond to that, they are going to lose this match.
Absolutely. The only counterpoint I would bring into that is you have to be getting value if you're running that pharmacy, because you are taking 2 players out of your main course fight, and if you are not getting picks with it, then you are throwing the games. And especially when you have a Crispy who is very, very strong on Echo, that duel is very, very strong for Echo, especially with the Mercy Pocket. You really need to be capitalizing, or you're putting your team at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and also just like something I hope we don't see here is the supports of Shake and Bake have been kind of a soft spot for their team, and honestly, it's just one of those things where it's just supports are honestly a soft spot for everybody. But we've got to see some protection or some good positioning come out for Fury and She Prime in this match. You know, this is a game where you need to be the one making the least amount of mistakes.
Absolutely, and capitalizing on the mistakes of the enemy team.
So we will see what happens. I'm not sure where we're at right now.
Actually, I'm going to turn something off. I'll be back in 10 seconds. Sorry.
No, you go for it.
You're on your own. Just keep talking. Vamp.
Okay. How's everybody doing in the chat tonight? I see MW, Uncle Had, Bethany Barker, Garrison Locking. I see all you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for keeping up the hype and supporting Shake and Bake. Game's not over. It is 2v2. 2v2. And I want to see Shake and Bake come out on top of this. I want to see them win. But we will see what happens. Wara, nice to see you. Let's go, Grongingas. Main tank diff for sure. Well, yeah. I think there's definitely better picks coming out for that, and the support is the support is going to be the key here. And it looks like we're going to see a start here coming up in just a second.
I completely agree with everything you just said.
I said that you were a sucky player.
Damn it! You're right, though. It's fair. I agree.
And chat can back me up. Come on, chat, back me up. No, I wouldn't say that. No, I was just thanking the people watching the stream, and just asking them how they're doing.
Very cool. Oh yeah, got some chatters in the chat.
Yes, we do. We got some chatters. And it looks like they're going to be starting. I saw in the team chat, it looks like they're going to be starting up shortly here. So we'll see if they're going to get started here. I think they're trying to.
There's a little bit of a delay. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
we are. Like... You're right.
And this is all the marbles here.
All the marbles. The moment we've all been waiting for. Map 5 of the grand finals. Shake and Bake versus Team Krys1s. Winner take all. This map, push map. There is no, not tiebreakers, I guess is what I was going for there. It's whoever pushes this motherfucker the furthest is the winner.
This is it. This is for all the marbles, as stated previously. But no, this is down to the wire. There's no. This is the end for either team, and obviously a championship win for the team that comes out on top of this match.
Absolutely. And it would a Cinderella story for Shake and Bake, really. Losing that first match, falling into the losers bracket, finding their way all the way back to the grand finals with a win last week against Krys1s. If they can turn this into 2 wins, really would be a huge streak for them. So I'm wishing them the best, as indeed they seem to be rolling out on a brawl comp here. We got the Ram, Bap, Lucio, May,
Sim.
Damn, something. Sim, yeah, sorry. Something fell behind me.
Yeah, and I wish Shake and Bake well here. I hope that we get to see some good pressure put out. We'll see what happens.
Indeed. Crispy rolling out, getting set up early.
Looks like we're going to see a similar team comp, except we're going to see a Tracer instead of a Sim.
Similar team comp. Shake and Bake taking an advanced position here, setting up on the high ground. Lucio a bit overextended, managed to fall. Quick
good
pick
pressure.
Here, turn things around would be good.
Great pressure put out by Shake and Bake here.
Absolutely.
They just need to capitalize.
It's a huge pick there. They can get the May here. Crispy about to fall the Tracer. And unfortunately, it looks like they're going to lose this fight. And Krys1s falling early there, I think, was a big issue. But
yeah, being a little too aggressive.
Yeah. Krys1s going back to pick up. This
their
fight is
gonna
still
fall.
happening. Yeah. Interesting retake here. I was a little confused. I was following the wrong people. I was under the impression that fight was won by Krys1s, but they managed to turn it around, and now back into a full strength fight somehow.
And I want to say it was more of a 50-50 situation.
Sure. Grong taking a flank, managed to pick the Kiriko, and now on the BAP might get him too. If he can, this is going to be a very decisive one fight. BAP managed to get out, but I think he's going to fall as Grong pushes cart and the rest of the team destroys the Krys1s team, and they take the lead here. BAP possibly getting staggered big time. Oh yeah, this is a huge stagger. Man, that is really going to be bad for Krys1s here. They're going to have to wait a long time for that BAP to come back as they push the cart around this first corner, taking the lead. going into the fight with 2 big ults, third one about to come online. Very strong position for Shake and Bake.
Not to mention we got COVID coming out.
That was one of the two. And actually Swag already has freeze. Huge wall there. Gonna keep the Ram from... Here comes Cleanse is out. Lamp is out. He is frozen. That's gonna be a dead Ram if I have anything to say about it.
Oh, and it's gonna fall in
Unlucky.
favor of Fallen Solo.
Wow. Great support from Monkey Punky and Goosh there to keep their tank up through that ultimate. And a little bit of work from the Tracer on the back line to pick off their supports. Turn that fight in the favor of Krys1s.
And honestly, really good plays, but it kind of puts Shake and Bake in a situation where you want to try to keep this lead. Keeping the lead will be very, very, very critical here.
Absolutely, yeah. The less cart progress, the better. And we do have a window coming up from Fury here. I expect that there it is right there. This is going to push them back considerably if they can capitalize on this. Undo any progress that they've had and win this fight. Grong going in, manages to pick the Kiriko, huge pick. Enemy Ram about to fall. If he can get another punch in, great wall by Swagger on that. Lamp comes out again. Fallen Solo having to crouch. Bap almost dead. They managed to kill the Tracer. Managed to kill the Bap. This is clean up now. Absolutely. Dagger on the May. No, they got it.
Great plays by Shake and Bake.
They really turned that fighter on well. They capitalized off of that window. And Grong's aggression, very, very smart there without overextending himself.
And it looks like we're going to be kind of in the same situation previously with, with COVID coming up and May ult again.
Absolutely, yeah. Fast charging ults there, plus you have a wall from Krys1s, which is going to help them with this fight. They've switched to dive. To try and counteract this brawl. Monkey in, half health right now. Expect to see some ults and win this fight. Monkey falls.
Oh, but we see some good picks coming out by Shake and Bake.
Yeah, Swagasaurus popping off. He does fall to the Sombra, but it's a little bit too late, and he's going to take advantage of that forward spawn. This is looking good. This is looking really good for Shake and Bake right now. They've got some strong ults, ready to use. Sombra just poking away right now, no big deal.
Oh,
she almost falls there, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monkey jumping in early. I don't like that.
And we're going to see Crispy fall.
Yeah. Lamp also falls. Tracer with the big pulse bomb on the side of Krys1s. Bori really, really getting that out there. Monkey, though, getting very low on the freeze. Manages to get out. Cart progress is stopped. Out comes another window. Monkey almost dead. 1 health. EMP comes out. They lose both supports and lose their tank, and that's going to be a 1 fight. But at the cost of EMP, very, very big ult. They'll take them a while to get back.
And Shake and Bake can come back from this real easily. We have Crispy ult, we also have May ult, and we have COVID too.
Absolutely, some very strong ults. It's just going to be important for them to stop this before forward spawn comes into play, and I think that they are fully able to take a fight there. In fact, this Grong is up right now. Managing to isolate the Brig here. She might die if they're smart about it. Nope. Freeze, though, comes out, and Brig is frozen. That's going to be a pick on the Brig. Slept by the Ana, and COVID comes out. Very low health, so he's going to need some help here. And he falls hidden inside the Monkey Buggle. They invest wall, which I don't love.
I don't hate it either.
Though. Yeah. Crispy falls here. Swagasaurus needing to pop off here, at least die on cart and stall things out a bit. Unfortunately, he falls there too. And now they are very low on ults. They don't have much left. We see a swap to Diva by Grongigas to counter the Monkey Dive. I like that pick. I think that's smart. Everyone else is going to stay the same, though. Although Fury does switch over to Kiriko.
And we're going to see Swagasaur on the Reaper.
Yeah, which also I think as a team, Monkey was giving them some problems.
Huge beat coming out.
Yeah, massive beat. Monkey going to fall here if they're smart. No, Crispy gets the Ana, though.
Huge
pick
picks.
There, forcing TP on the Sombra, and they are backing out. This fight is solely in the hands of Shake and Bake now.
Sombra's kind of stuck here.
Yeah, absolutely. They can get this pick here. She has no TP. She managed to invis out. She Prime smartly, not chasing any further. And pushing the cart back for progress. We are very close here. 3 minutes to go, 80 to 60 basically. That's just one fight difference. 2 fights now, I guess, for this pushed up this far. Out comes EMP and She Prime falls immediately. That was a solo EMP on the Lucio, but it worked out really well as the entire team very low on health. Krys1s 2 picks though, 3 picks, and maybe turning this fight around. Is that 4 picks?
Ooh, that's huge picks, honestly.
Yeah, big pick then also by Grong on to get the Sombra out of there, and that went from a lost fight to a 1 fight in 0 to 60, 3 seconds. Did not expect that, but great job by them stabilizing and getting back in there. Very impressive.
This puts Krys1s in a really bad position because we've got Diva Bomb coming out very shortly.
Sombra, Krys1s has to waste TP. She goes back as we see Primal come out during. Going to be juggling some team members around. She Prime almost picks the Tracer, but managed to get killed by Monkey Punky Ana.
Oh, and Monkey's probably
Nano
gonna
comes out
fall
on
here.
Monkey. Yeah.
Monkey's
definitely.
almost down,
They
and he's gonna
wasted
be
Nano
down.
on the Monkey. That's huge. That is massive. They don't have Nano now. 1.5 minutes left here. That was a big ult that they needed to really turn this fight around. And even if Shake and Bake loses this, the momentum is really going in their favor. See if they can keep Diva up here. They need to back up a little bit though. They're just supports and tank now. They can give this space. They have the time. They have the distance. If they can win a fight here, if they can win a fight here, almost impossible for Krys1s to come back. They'd have to win 3 fights in a row.
Sombra is going to be the key here to
EMP
keep them
comes
out.
That's okay. 2 picks here. They just need to die right now quickly and reset. This is last fight territory. They don't have EMP for it, and they have bomb. So smartly, yes, they all fall. Diva not staggered too bad actually. That's great. They just need to get together. I think unfortunately they're going to get long spawned, but it doesn't matter. 1 fight territory here. A win from Shake and Bake on this fight is going to give them the 5th map and the championship.
They're catching up to us.
1 team fight.
One
That's
team
all
fight.
that counts.
They have bomb and rush going into this.
Huge
Very strong.
eat
Cleanse
by
comes out
Grong.
early. Massive eat there. That was insane. Even though Fury with the cleanse there. Here comes out bomb. Gonna get the Ana. Gonna get both supports. No
bomb!
supports. 8 seconds left, and they're fighting without any healing. Full strength against Shake and Bake. This just clean up now. They get this Tracer. They don't have a touch. Tracer no recall. Overtime. Don't push it. Don't push it. That's gonna be a 1/5 map for Shake and Bake and the championship. Did not expect that.
Oh my goodness, that is going to be a win for Shake and Bake. They were going to take the tourney win. Oh my goodness, huge plays by Grong, eating the Symmetra, the Tracer Pulse Bomb, and then getting 2 kills with his Diva Bomb. Woo!
And Crispy here, that just shows the strength of Symmetra when she has that charge up, killing 4 people with ease just in their backline. Could not have asked for a better match. Both teams played amazingly. That was really fun to watch, and I'm so grateful we got to see all 5 of those maps. 2 really good teams matched up here for the championship, and congratulations to both. But Shake and Bake, congrats for your championship win.
Congrats indeed. Oh my goodness, watching this start at the beginning with the what's it called, the first loser bracket map, and just watching Shake and Bake fight their way back up. Really rewarding for Shake and Bake to come out and get a win here. I'm excited for them, and even being down a player of theirs is can be a little bit annoying initially when you lose a player due to legalities of the tournament. But you know what? Shake and Bake came through, and they really shined. They put up an amazing fight, and both teams did amazing.
Absolutely. I think just at the end of the day, Shake and Bake able to capitalize on their advantages and sometimes able to capitalize on their disadvantages. There's a few fights there where Shake and Bake was down and they turned the fight around even when they were 3v4, 2v4, and just some amazing work there from Crispy. to turn a few of those fights around. Grong also turning around on Monkey some fights that looked completely lost. Really good to see them turn those things around. And I think that was really the key, is just knowing when to leave a fight. And sometimes I was saying they should leave fights and they didn't, and they won them, and I had to eat my words. So really smart play all around.
Amazing. And honestly, I don't think I could have picked a better person to do this with tonight with my.com. Honestly, dude, thank you for joining me. Thank you for reminding me that there was a game tonight. Just honestly good fun, and it really just makes evenings like this a lot more enjoyable when you rather than just sitting back and listening to your team argue or try to figure out the map. It really makes it special to just kind of chill out, hang out, point out the critical flaws of your team, but also encourage them in the same note.
Sure. It's very nice to just sit back here and act like I would have done something better than somebody else, even though I know I wouldn't.
100%, 100%. No matter how much we rag on our team, we love them to death. They're amazing. They're great people, and they've really worked hard for this, and I'm very proud of them.
Absolutely, me too. Thanks for having me on this cast here, Sammy Miami, and I was happy to share the victory with you.
I appreciate you, and thank you all those who are in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up and giving the support, even though I think from my opinion it was a little lopsided on the support towards Grong, but you know what, I'll take it. Support for Grong means a support for my team, and I love it. So yeah. I appreciate you all.
Support was lopsided both in YouTube and on Shake and Bake, because our supports were killing it.
They really were. Oh, you know what? Let's before we close off here, who are you picking for a MVP for Shake and Bake?
I wasn't in the chats, so I don't know who's making these calls, but generally when you having comm switches, when you're having pathing switches, it is coming from your tank. They're very important, and I know that tank is almost always given MVP, just because it's such an important role and a stabilizing and centered role in the map. But I really do think that Grongigas contributed a lot to these wins, and I'm going to have to give it to him.
I'm going to be the person on the side, and the chat's going to hate me, but you know what? I'm going to pick Crispy. Honestly, showing up when her team needed her, and she made some amazing plays. I'm not going to downside Storm at all. Storm was just as critical to the fights as well. But Crispy being in, Crispy being the person that we hadn't seen for the last two games, and we really hyped up Storm and really, sold him on the last two games. I'm going to give Crispy her space and really, thank her, pick her for the MVP, because she really showed up and put a lot of pressure on, a tank without a good set of DPS behind is pretty much of no value.
Absolutely.
And that's where I will be the oddball and pick Crispy as the MVP for tonight. If you had to pick,
it's not that odd. It was close.
It was close. If you had to pick one for Krys1s, who would you pick for Krys1s? And you don't have to go about worrying about names, but if you had to pick somebody on their team that was critical, who would you say?
For sure. I mean, I think they all played really well. Fallen Solos, tank play on Rhine and on Ramatra were very good. I do think he got a little diffed on the Monkey and diff versus dive, so just for that reason I can't give it to him. I'm going to say Bori Macto had a lot of diversity in his picks. He seemed to be comfortable on the Tracer, really strong on Soldier. He just moved around the characters a lot and always contributed. Had a lot of damage, had a lot of elims, so I'm gonna give it to him. Or her. I don't know if it's her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I'm gonna probably agree with you that a DPS, but I think I'm gonna give it to Link PCP. For really on the maps that it was necessary. If Link PCP had not put that pressure in on Circuit Royale, which is a team favorite for Shake and Bake, if that pressure had not been put on, I don't think that Krys1s would have won that map. So I'm gonna pick, even though Link wasn't necessarily, around, the highlight for every kill this evening. I'm gonna give him the wild card MVP and choose Link PCP.
I like it. I like it. Also, very strong May play. Great walls, good isolation. Freezes. He had that 5-man freeze in that hallway, in that little
Oh yeah.
alcove on King's Row. As a huge ult. So yeah, I like it. It's a good pick.
And there you have it, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and close it off here. Once again, mydad.com, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure, and I will look forward to doing this again, possibly when we enter into the UGC tournament.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Always a pleasure, Sammy Mammy. I love you.
No, I love you.
No, I love you.
All right, you guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening. We thank you so much for your support. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you on the next stream.